Please, Grady, can you give me your response to someone that is a non-believer but believes in evolution?
Well, of course, I would need to know more concerning a particular individual, but in general, evolution is an utterly false and easily disproven concept. Because remember that evolution says that things start simple but cannot tell you where the materials came from, that by random chance they become more complex. Well, that defies every law of science. The first and second law of thermodynamics, for example. Genetic entropy today is an absolute proof that evolution is not true. We have many other things, including all the various scientific arguments for the Earth and universe only being 6,000 years old. So it depends on the person as to exactly which tool you use or what information to share with them. And so I have to speak in a more general sense. But evolution itself is even irrational, unreasonable, illogical, and it is not based in evidence. Because the idea that random chance can create complexity, that random chance can produce usable information, even if we just use nothing more than cause and effect reasoning, would prove it's not true. And I would point out how the Apostle Paul did this. The Apostle Paul was the first creation evangelist. We creation scientists follow in Paul's footsteps 2,000 years ago. And he started with the argument by design. Take a look at Romans chapter 1. The invisible God is made known to us through the things he has made. That's the argument by design, that when you see a chair, you know there's a chair maker. When you see a house, you know there's an architect. When you see a tree, you ought to know there's a tree maker. Same thing with people and a universe. And so the argument by design is an incredibly strong argument, and just as good now as it was 2,000 years ago. So we have the science, we have the intellectual arguments to prove that evolution is not true. And I would suggest going to my website, of course. We have many free articles, lots of free short videos. We have a bookstore, but there are others as well. I mean, we're hardly the only one. And start to educate yourself and give yourself tools to witness to this person to try to cause them to stumble and rethink their situation. This is what Paul talks about, for instance, 1 Corinthians, when he says that the preaching of Jesus Christ is a stumbling block to a Jew, but foolishness to an evolutionist. And so you have to first prove that there is a creator God before you can introduce them to the Son. And that's in Acts 17.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Dr. Grady. Very useful pieces of information there.